So hello guys, how's it doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Today we'll work with FMC, or the Firepower Management Center. The new name will be Firewall Management Center, and they changed that in version 7.1. We are using 7.0 right now, so that's why you're still seeing here Firepower Management Center. Today I want to talk with you guys about objects. So let's go to objects. Basically, it's where we manage the object. So we want to create a new network object. We want to create access list to use in a route map. We want to create something like check the feed list for the security intelligence. So let's go through it. Will be not so long video, just a brief introduction of the object and where we can use these ones. So let's wait for holding here. It takes some time. I just turn on my lab, and sometimes it's getting a little bit slowly, right? So this is me. Today we will talk about the Firewall Management Center objects, and why it's not loading here. Let's just hit enter. Oh, here we go. And by the way, as you guys can see, I just changed the dashboard to another color. So if you want to change it, you just go to admin. So we have the light, which is the one that we were using previously, and we have the dusk, which is one that I think it's pretty good. I'm thinking about using this one. And you're gonna use the old class 6.4 version or 6.2.3 version, which is the classic one, which, to be very honest with you, I don't like so much, because I think it's not so built as the other ones. Basically, that's my thoughts. So that's the way I like it. So I'm gonna change this back to the dusk, because I really enjoy the dusk. And we go through the object management. So here we go. We have such a kind of objects. Network will be always the default one. So every time that you click on objects management, you will go here. And basically here is where we put our objects. There is some ways to do it, but if you have the whole information, like you are in a project, you prepare the document to deploy, you know all the objects, all the networks that you should configure, you know, for example, the networks, how you're gonna be the rules, you know, you have the information about the servers. So you can come here at the first step and configure all the objects that you're going to use, and then uses on the ACP, uses on a route map, uses on the in anywhere that you need it. So here basically we can bring up some objects. There is a built-in object, which is the one that you cannot delete it, but you can take a look, and this comes on version 6.4 or 6.5, I don't remember correctly. But for example, if I click on this find the usage here, we can see where this object is being used. And it's gonna show for you, for example, that is the usage is in the policy, in this policy, and if I click here, it's gonna take me to that policy. So we'll open in another tab and close this one. While that one is loading, we can check, for example, how to create a new one. So I have just a few ones that I created, and one thing that I like to show to you guys is the override option, like this one. So this is one of my net, right? So it's the server's network, and on this server network, as you guys can see it, there is the override option. It's enabled. It's showing description here, but let's see. I think it's the override. Let me see it. So let me open this object. I think one of them I showed the override, or maybe that's the description and not the override. Loading here. Yeah, that's the override. That's why you have this done signal here. So basically, what is override? I work in a company as a network security engineer, and on this company we use the override objects to make our life easier, because they have the same policy applied to different sites, to different countries, in different continents. And basically with that we can use the same objects but override the real value of this object. So I will show to you guys here. This is a little bit confused. You guys need to take care of that. Of course, we made our life, our troubleshooting more difficult, but it's an amazing tool when you have a large environment. For example, I have 10 sites using FTD, and instead of have, for example, one net policy for each site, I can have the same net policy applied to all of them, and just doing the override of the objects. Basically that's it. So what we're gonna do, we have two FTDs. They will be in HA right now, not now, but they will be. We'll do that in the future, in next classes. And what I'm showing to you guys, so we're gonna add here, and we first click allow override. We're gonna add here. Let's wait it for opening. And of course, for this kind of objects, probably I will need to change the name, just because we need let's do this now. So let's go for example, let's say that this is servers network, right? And we're gonna say add. Okay, so what means the override? For the FTD02, we'll override that IP address by 192.168.2.2.0/24. So basically, I will apply the same server underscore networks to both FTD, but in one FTD they will have the value of 192.168.1.0, and on this FTD02 they will have this object will have other value. So that's the override thing. So I'm gonna do one of these here. It's not gonna work, right? We will not apply that because they will be in HA. So what is applied to FTD01 will be replicated to FTD02. But if this were FTD in another site, and we can try to do that, change some things in the lab. But that's what override does to us, right? So basically, you create an object and you do an override for one specific FTD. Then you cannot change the name or cannot create a lot of objects for each site or for each FTD that you have in your FMC. I'm not gonna save this because this, as I said, this is not gonna work because we will have FTD01 and 02 in high availability. So I just cancel this one. So what else we can have here? We can have add network. We can import some objects. There is a CSV file. For example, we have a CSV file. You put all the information that is needed there and just import it to here. And also we can have some groups, like for example, I know that in my network we have like 172.16.13, this one, the servers, the management, LAN A, LAN B, and that's it. So that's our whole network for this company, for this headquarters. So what we can do, we have here, let's create now. Let's create these three networks now. Okay, one we already have it, which is the net, and I would change the name, right? So let me change the name. So it doesn't delete it, so let me just delete this one. There is no override for now. I also will srv 192.168.1.0 just to be easier to find out when you are using the object instead of just give servers network. Here you go. So we deleted the override, but let's keep this allow for now. And now we have the srv. So just save it. Let's keep working on this one. So as I said, we have this net. I'm gonna change this for. I'm gonna change the name. I just changed it to the light theme just because I think it's faster. So as I said, srv, we know that 192.168.1.0/24. We keep the override, and that's it. So this will be, oh, the slash is not allowed. So underscore. Here we go. Just save it. Yeah, I think using the light version, it's at least on this lab, it's faster than they use the dusk. So let's go through it. So we are talking about the groups, right? So we will create these three. So this srv, then let's create another one. Pretty straightforward, same thing. We will create this object. This will be the DMZ 172.16.13.0 is _24. Just shoot the name, and you can create a host, a range, a network, or FKDN. So 172.16.13.0/24. Yeah, using the light, it's faster than using the dusk. So let's keep work on this one. Maybe because it's a lab and we are missing some resources. So here we go. We have these two. Just another one. And of course, guys, I could use, for example, instead of create my own network objects, I could use the RFC 1918, this one, which contains all the networks, so which will cover mine. But in a real world, in a production, you don't want to open that way, right? So you just of course will depend of your deployment, will do of what you guys want, but basically most of the time we use the networks that we have inside our network. So let's say mgmt 10.1.1.0 _24. It's a network 10.1.1.0/24. Just save it. And if you want to find out the ones that you just created, there is a filter button here for a filter to search. So mgmt, just wait, and here we go. So srv, same thing. I think I did all of these ones, srv, and oh, I'm missing the internal ones, right? mgmt, DMZ, servers, mgmt, and now I'm missing the internal ones. So which should be, so let's create the LAN A _ 10.2.2.0/24. It's a network 10.2.2.0/24. Oh, I always miss that. Slash is not a character, allow it. So save it, and let's create another one. Say that this will be our LAN B 10.3.3.0 _24. It's not a host, it's a network, and 10.3.3.0/24. So now that we created all the objects inside our network, all the network objects inside our network, we can create a group saying add group. This will be, let's say, inside network, and we can use let's search here LAN. These two goes inside network, srv, and what else, mgmt. Here we go. So we have these four DMZ will not be part of internal network, so just this for DMZ I'll keep aside for the inside network because it's a DMZ. So let's save here. So now we have our inside objects, and we also can put groups inside groups. So we have this inside network. I can create another group and add the inside network inside this other group. So this is basically what we can do with the object network. Create groups, create the networks that we want. So, and remember that I click here on this find the usage and it's open here. So it's open the DHCP and show to me this. So it's being, this object is being used here. So it's good stuff to find out where the object is being used. And if you want to find the object, for example, you have a 3000 objects, network objects, and you want to try to show that you use it. Now they on this version 7.0 and 7.x and forth, there is this button to show. I don't remember if this comes in the 6.7, but for sure this one has. So all of these are the unused object right now. So let's go from top down. Now it's alphabetic. So for this example, for create a new radio server groups or a single sign-on server, you go here. We will do that when you're gonna create the radio server for ICE and to authenticate or to change some things. We'll go through it. Access list is not the same as this. So this is access control policy where we configure the rules. The use of this access list, it says here, it's most of the time for the route map, to create a policy map, and basically it's for this. You create a normal ACL here with the source port, the source and destination, and port if it is extended, or just the destination address only if it is a standard, and you apply this in a route map and in a prefix list and these things when you use, for example, BGP or OSPF or any routing protocol. Address pools, it's for the VPN, and also if you want to use this, no, it's only for the VPN. For the DHCP is other things. So if you want to have remote access using any connect, the pools will be created here. Application filters, normally I don't use that, but if you can basically create an application filter based on your own, risk, business, category, and tags. ASPF for BGP, and cipher suites, community lists for BGP as well. DNS server grouper for apply to the servers. For example, we can create an DNS server group here and say this will be the DNS group. Straightforward. The default domain will be securitylab.com. Timeout, let's put 15 and let's put 3 tries, and the DNS server will be 192.168.1.10, and we have only this one, and I will show you guys where we can use this later. So basically we are creating a lot of objects here to use later. External attributes is just dynamic objects, for example, to using in the access control policy. We'll check that later when we work more in details in the access control policy. File list is for the malware, for the AMP connection and malware. We use the file list. Like if you have a clean list, we can change this one. Flex config is something that it's hard to work, but I will try to show you guys some examples of how to use Flex Connect. Basically, it's some of the commands in the old ASA that is not so easy to apply here using the FMC. So you need to go to the Flex Connect and apply this via Flex Connect config. Geolocation, for example, let's say that we want to create an object as a geolocation, and this object will be, let's say that allowed countries. I think I need to put a score on it. So let's say allowed continents. Let's do this. Allowed continents. and this will be used for the security intelligence, and I will show you the security intelligence steps in the next video and how to use it and how Cisco provide information to us. So basically, let's say that I don't wanna, and don't think that I'm doing this because it's just an example, right? So there's no racism or nothing. It's just an example. So let's say that allowed continents will be Antarctica, Australia, Europe, North America, and that's it. That will be the allowed continents that I want to receive. So if coming from Africa, I will put in a denied list, for example, not allowed continents. And South America, same thing. And I'm from South America, so that's why I say there is no personal thing here. It's just an example. So I'm gonna save this one. Oh, it should be the underscore, could not be space. So just save it, and we will create also another one saying that is the block continents, and the block continent will be Africa, Asia, and South America. Here you go. We have these two objects to use under the security intelligence part using the geolocation. So interfaces is like the interfaces that we have. So we have the data, the DMZ, and we can add some more interfaces here, or security zones, or even group some interfaces in the same security zone. It's not our case because we have one interface dedicated for each zone, but we can do it. Network, we were there. Well, PKI is where we manage our PKI means stands for public key infrastructure. So basically where we check it all the certificates, we do the certificate enrollments and these things. So let's go this policy list. Let me see what we have here. Is also used to configure route maps. So I did FMC and FTD and secure firewall with routing just once, and it was not needed to have route map, so just sharing the whole network. So that's why I never use that. So ports, for example, there is a lot of built-in ports that is already here, like SMTP, SMTPS, SNMP, as you guys can see. But if you want to create your own, you can create that. So just come back here, create, add port, same thing, right? So you can port, you can create, we can group the ports, the object that you want. But let's create just one, just to you guys see that it is the same thing. So let's say that will be HTTPS over, I will say this, DNS over HTTPS, and I'll explain that to you guys later. So it's UDP, the port is 443, it's called DOH, and I learned that from Todd Lumley. For example, some of the browsers, it use two protocols, Quick and DO, and they try to use the DNS over HTTPS using the port 443, and there is some good stuff on it in using it, and there is some bad stuff to us that need to take a look. I will explain this more using when we will work with the security intelligence. So basically this, I will create just this object for now, and let's go with the next one. So we can have more prefix lists, we can create route maps. I'll not go through this one because I use a little this one. So we can see, for example, for the security intelligence part that will be on our next class, we can see the feed list from Cisco. So last time that was updated was today at 3:15:18, and here we can only change the time. So update frequency is 2 hours here. So every time that Cisco Talos provide a new FMC goes to the Cisco Talos, download this information and push this to the device at each 15 minutes, if I'm not wrong. We have the global list that it was list from Cisco, so same thing, right? We cannot see it here, but there is a list from Cisco for the DNS IP address that is known as malicious. We can use this later in the security intelligence. Same thing for the network list, same thing for the URL list. So the global list is where you added, and I will show to you added, and you can, for example, get a list from some sources and came here and put on the block list, and we use this object under the security intelligence part. Sinkhole is like is most used for the DNS. As you guys can see here, a DNS server that gives no routable address for all domains, so we use as a sinkhole, or an IP address that is not resolved, so we'll use that as well in the security intelligence part. SLA monitor, as you guys can see, is just to create an SLA. For example, I have two exits to the network, to outside ISP1 and ISP2, and I want to configure a monitoring for the primary, and if this goes down, I will move my traffic automatically to the secondary one. We can do that. I can add more. I can add another router here and connect to this and simulate a new network, because my ISP now is only one, so we can do that later. Time range, it's like an old school thing. For example, when we don't have a VPN, or we want to control if the guys it's working only the 8 hours and not access the devices after 6 p.m. for example, we can use a time range that this access control policy is valid from 8 to 6, and after that you cannot do that anymore. You can access it anymore. So the time zone, where we add the time zone, so time object supported policy, so we use time zone. This will be basically for the platform settings, for the configuration to the secure file itself, or FTD. We have VLANs, we have the configurations for the VPN, where we upload the certificate to the AnyConnect profile. I will try to go through this and I will let you guys know. So basically, guys, this is what we have for the objects, is where we manage all kind of objects. So network objects, flash config, security intelligence objects, DNS objects, SLA. So this part of the FMC just show to you the object. And as I said in the beginning, if you know everything, for example, you designed the whole network, you know what exactly you are gonna implement, you can came here first, create all the objects, and then go to the ACP, and on the ACP you can use these objects because they are already done. Otherwise, every time that you want to create a new rule, for example this one, let me open this one and show to you guys just a pretty introduction of the ACP. Let's see if it's gonna be quick. So otherwise, if you don't have the object here, there is always a plus button to create right now, so you can create the object here or the group. So we have these two options, but we'll talk of that we talk more about that later. So that's it for now, just a short introduction about the objects that we have on FMC. And that's it, guys. God bless you. See you soon. Bye bye.